Hey, Positive Results Training, it's Mindy. So, if you're here in Northeast Ohio like we are, you know that next week, today's Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even tomorrow morning is kind of ugh. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for sure are very, very extremely cold, dangerous temperatures. We don't want to be out walking our dogs, things like that. But we do want to keep them occupied and busy. I don't know if you can see Odie's tail. I knew as soon as I went to do this, he was going to come in here. You've already had dinner. This is for tomorrow. So, one of the easy ways to kind of keep them busy is our favorite thing, the Kong. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of his breakfast, and I originally had stopped and bought him his own can of food, but Mom actually has some canned food, because I'm pet sitting, staying with Odie tonight. I want to talk real quick about why I chose rabbit. You'll see me when I have treats. We make things. Very rarely will you see me use chicken and beef. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but especially for dogs that I'm not sure, especially in training situations, we don't use chicken and beef because those are two of the most common food allergies in dogs. So we always go with something that's not. And I already know that he's not allergic to chicken, but Mom limits the amount of chicken that Odie's allowed to have. So I was like, well, I'll just pick up some rabbit anyway. But we're going to go ahead and use what she's got. So we'll use that in another video. And tell me in the comments below if you guys want to go back to monthly Kong recipes like we did a couple years ago. And if you do, if you'd like them as demonstration videos, and if so, I can whip one together for January, and then we'll get started for the rest of the year. So let me know if you want to do that. So I like to measure out what's going to go in my Kong. So I have to remember that I'm going to add canned food to this. So all I'm going to do for the moment is just kind of take some of his food and put it in the Kong and kind of look and see where I'm at. Because like I said, you have to remember we're going to add canned food to this. Oops, that's okay. So, roughly about half of his breakfast is in here. So, we're going to dump it back into his bowl here. Now, normally, we would talk about plugging the bottom of the Kong, but for what we're doing with this, we don't need to do that. And I know this isn't his whole breakfast. This is just part of his breakfast. So, we're just going to take just a little bit of, we got Purina Pro Plan. Purina is good food. I like it. I've used it. And we're just going to kind of mash in his dry food here. And this is all kind of, trial and error. You go, oh, well, I need a little bit more canned food. So we're going to put a little bit more. He is drooling over here. I feel bad because this is going to go in the freezer. Because that's the other thing. You want to remember, if you freeze your Kongs, they actually last a little bit longer. So, kind of got it all. So we kind of got it all mashed in here together. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take his Kong. And this part can be messy, and I'm not afraid to get messy with this. Not a big deal. I'm not going to lick my fingers like I were if I was baking some cookies or something. But I want to, I don't want to pack it too much in there. But I do want it to be in there because I want him to work at this because we are having what's called flash freezing tonight because the temperature is going to drop so much. So a lot of the wet stuff is going to get very, very icy, which means more than likely Odie and I will not be taking a walk in the morning. So this will be a way to kind of keep him occupied. And he might luck out and get to lick a little bit of the bowl here because I got just a little bit more than I planned. So I always, though, do like to seal the top of the Kong. Oh, you have something. Hang on here. We're going to get something. I know. You're drooling over here because you're thinking that you are possibly getting that right now, don't you? So, Mom's got tiny little treats, so we're just going to stuff one little treat here in the top, maybe. Oh, maybe I smashed it too full. There we go. Put a little bit more around it again. Now this little treat's a kind of lost in the moment of the thing here. So that's going to go in the freezer. He's going to get this. This is part of his breakfast. He'll get the other part of his breakfast just regular in his bowl. And there is just a little bit left in here. Not much. Even though he already had his dinner. Let's see if I can... This hand doesn't have food on it. You can just... He's waiting very patiently down there. So, I'm going to go ahead and let him have what's left in this bowl, which is not much. There's like a couple little pieces and a little bit of what. We're going to throw this in the freezer, and this will be his breakfast. So, makes and Kongs, it's just as simple as their dog food and a little bit of canned food. You can use pumpkin, other things like that too. Yogurt, cottage cheese. I'm not big on cottage cheese frozen. Oh my gosh, Odie. He's enjoying that. Just something like this is just going to be enough to kind of help keep them occupied and they're not so bored, especially if they're dogs that are used to walking a lot. He's all over the floor with this. And there's really nothing left in it. So, good boy. Odie, come here. Good boy. So we'll throw this in the freezer and Odie's going to have breakfast. So like I said, let me know in the comments down below if you want to go back to monthly Kong recipes. And if you do, if you want them with video tutorials on how to make them. Have a great night, guys.